Oh boy. I was ready to talk about T-Mobile. I was prepared to make a video talking about their new phone plan, and I was genuinely excited. And then this story hit. So rather than try to highlight their phone plan, which I think Sneed has already done, I'm going to focus on this, and I think it's about time that I weigh in on what I think of all this and kind of give my 2 cents about it.
Apple nerd, Google nerd, Samsung nerd,
OnePlus phone nerd,
Forbes Technoid,
Alrighty, the first story, the main story of the day, the T-Mobile data breach. Now, as I said at the beginning of this episode, originally my intention was to come in, make a video talking about their new phone plan, and originally I had a lot of ideas and a lot of things I wanted to discuss, but all of that fell right out the window once I heard this new story. Listen guys, I am gonna be honest, I'm not a cellular YouTuber. I'm just a casual guy. I watch from the outside, I learn like everyone else, but I do talk about it here and there when I feel it's appropriate. And if there was ever a moment for me to want to talk about it, I think now is the better time than never, because this has gone on way too far, and I think it's about time that somebody just brings this up. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday, or I believe it was today, again, I'll leave the links in the description, T-Mobile has seen another data breach. This is almost like common. If you don't know anything about these data breaches, T-Mobile seems to be the leader. Just like they claim to be the leader in 5G, they claim to be the leader in data breaches. 37 million accounts. Think of the number right now. 37 million. 37 million people were affected. However, out of the 37 million, only 850 plus customers were truly affected. Now, that doesn't sound as bad, but that's still 850 people that still got affected and have to kind of reset their data and also their social security number and all that good stuff. Now listen, I know that in this world, in the tech world, this stuff happens. I understand that. I'm not saying T-Mobile is at fault for not having the proper precautions. Listen, this can happen to anybody. This can happen to Apple, this can happen to Samsung, this can happen to Verizon, this can happen to anyone. My problem with all of this is that of all the people that have had data breaches, T-Mobile seems to be the easiest one. It's like if you want to sell your stuff on the dark web, you just got to be a customer of T-Mobile. That's how easy it is for your information to potentially get leaked and messed up. Now, I don't want to sit here and just point the finger, but I think this needs to be said. I really think this needs to be brought up because I usually like to be very fair and mutual when I make videos like this. But I am not making any jokes. I know the intro was fun because that was just for Sneed, but somebody has to say it. When is enough with this company? When are they when is somebody going to finally hold them accountable for their lackluster job to protect their customers? When are they going to be held accountable for not having the proper precautions in place, the proper security? When are they going to finally be held accountable, period? Because every time this happens, I understand that it's only a certain number of users, but to think of how many that have been totaled out in almost 2 quarters. And then you take a look at the back record, you take a look at the backtrack of everything. Then you look at Mike Sievert coming out, Eugene Yackel coming out trying to downplay all this and say, oh, don't worry, we're the safest. And then right after he says that, boom, data breach. At what point do we, the consumers, when do people finally start to wake up and say, you know what, this has gone on far enough. I don't care if you've got the best deal. I don't care if you're giving out free lines. Hell, I don't even care if you got T-Mobile Tuesday chicken hats for all I care. When are people going to finally stand up and say, you know what, if you can't protect my personal information, my bank account, my social security, if I'm giving you all of my information, why would I want to continue doing business? Imagine if you're one of those 850 affected customers. I understand it's a small number, but it should not even be near that. It should be nowhere near. I understand, again, these things happen, but there is a reason you have proper precaution and you have proper protection. That is something that it doesn't seem like T-Mobile has. Now again, if what I'm saying is not pleasing to you, I'm not sorry, but I am sorry if you know more about it than me, then that's a different story. But again, I'm just a casual guy looking in. I'm not a tech-savvy cellular guy. But I just gotta say it. There has to be somebody that holds T-Mobile accountable, just like the FCC. You know, that'd be perfect. They were all over T-Mobile when they were merging with Sprint. They were all over them trying not to make it happen. Where are they now when all this data breach happens? There should be some kind of penalization. There should be some kind of penalty for every time this happens. So that way they have to spend money on actual protection. Stop spending money on advertisements. Stop trying to lock in on AT&T customers. Start with your infrastructure, which is of course the number one thing that they should be doing. I'm not trying to make a video here to bash on T-Mobile. And if you're a T-Mobile fan and you want to come in here and just go, oh, well, you're not being fair, you're part of the problem and not part of the solution, because you are one of those people that do not hold them accountable. And for as long as you have that mental approach, for as long as you continue to do what you do as a fan, they are never going to change. That is why I think we need to finally, I'm saying people need to start and say, hey, enough is enough. If you cannot protect us, why should we do business with you? And if the FCC should step involved, I don't like when the government likes to regulate things or try to intervene. But if there was ever a time for them to actually step in, this would be the most appropriate moment, because enough is enough. This has got to stop. These data breaches are happening every single day. If you're a T-Mobile customer, at what point do you get picked out of the lottery before you get leaked? I'm just saying it. I don't think there's anybody else that's advocating this kind of stuff. I don't want to get into that realm of, leave T-Mobile. I don't want to be that person. But if you can't protect your customers, if you don't have the proper precautions, if you don't have the proper infrastructure, then somebody needs to hold you accountable for that. And continuing to gloat about how you got growth in the market, how you got all this, congratulations. Now protect your customers from another data leak. And that's all I have to say. I didn't want to make this video long. I just want to get straight to the point. Now again, I'm just a casual guy looking in. I apologize if this offends anybody. And for those of you cellular fans out there, listen, at the end of the day, you guys know better than me, but that's just my opinion and that's what I think. If you agree with it, you agree with it. If you disagree, well, I appreciate you watching anyway. But I just wanted to come on here and make this video because enough is enough. Enough is really, really enough. It's time T-Mobile finally gets held accountable, but I don't see it happening. But it could start with customers and people finally speaking up. So it's about time they finally got what was coming to them, and that's being held accountable.